Hello everyone, welcome to the video. This video is going to be slightly different because in this video I'm going to show you one of my single stock investment portfolios that I made in the US market. So most of my videos are about index investing. I am an index investor, and ever since 2020 I have not bought individual stocks. But that being said, before 2020 I was doing swing trading. I was trying to find the winner stocks, and this is a story from back then. And I just thought of sharing this because I also want people to see that there are all of these YouTube videos that we make around this is my investment strategy and this is exactly what I do. And that's what I've been sharing on YouTube as well. But you should also see that there are different things that people try and experiment before they are able to build a strategy. So, what's this single stock and how did I get here? So, the single stock that I've invested in the US market is Micron Technologies. So let me show you the portfolio right here. Let me move this up. So Micron Technologies is the company that I've invested. And if you think of the company name, I just want you to replace that with semiconductors. Just like think of semiconductors, and you'll be able to understand what this company does and what they do and what exactly they're all about. But you can also do your research and look at this company. But the point of this video is to actually share you the journey and the learnings that I've had during this way. So the first thing I wanted to share is the strategy that I used to pick the stock. It was not about analyzing the industry, looking at what's happening with semiconductors and what the shortage is all about. For example, this was an investment that I made back in 2020, 21. So there was all of this stuff in the news. I was not very interested in following news about semiconductors and technology. So what I used is called cloning. So this is based on a cloning strategy. And cloning strategy, which I did, actually got me this 51% return, which is around $1,800 of return. What is cloning strategy? Cloning strategy is basically looking at big investors, looking at their portfolios, looking at what they've exited and what they've entered, and then hopefully trying to replicate that at the right time. Okay. Now, this it is basically a 10 to 20% probability that you'll actually be able to do it at the right time, because by the time the public records of the holdings of these investors comes out is already too late. So not a strategy that I recommend, but it is proven to work in many cases. So one of my favorite personal finance YouTubers, Mr. Shankar Nath, actually made a video about this cloning strategy. I think it was recently. And then I remembered about this company that I had bought by cloning Mohnish Pabrai's portfolio. So that's is an interesting story because I had actually invested in this company through Scriptbox, and then Scriptbox discontinued US investing. And then they'd send me an email that your portfolio will now be moved to StockAl. And I totally forgot about this. So when I watched the video by Mr. Shankar, I was like reminded that I actually used the cloning strategy in the past, and I had a company in my portfolio that I had invested around $3,500 in. And that's how I actually remembered to log into StockAl and pull out the portfolio. And I saw that, okay, 3,500 has now become 5,375. So that's exactly what the number is. So I've invested $3,558.8, and at an average cost of $70. And now the price is $106, and I have 50 shares. So my total return is around $1,800. Of course, this is today's change. It's a bit down today, like 4.51% today, but that doesn't matter. The point is that I bought this using cloning. So I followed Mohnish Pabrai's recommendation. He's the one who got Micron Technologies and at the same time Alibaba. And I realized that if I actually followed his strategy, I would be less likely to lose sleep with Micron Technologies versus Alibaba, which was also an investment that I made to some extent, not as much as Micron Technologies, and I exited the investment as well, so I was fine. But with Micron, I just wanted to buy it and forget about it, which is exactly what Mohnish Pabrai also recommends. So this was the strategy that I used. Finally, this is where we stand today. I had invested this amount. This is where we are. Now, my strategy has ever since changed from cloning versus swing trading versus all of these different kinds of methods to just index investing. And this has happened after I got married, after I became a father, and I did not want to think about individual stocks. And I did not want the stress of owning individual companies. You will still see in my overall portfolio, there are a lot of individual companies, but those were all purchased back then And now most of my investments are either going into the SIPs on my mutual funds, or they are going into the ETFs to track the index, right? So if you've been following this channel, you know exactly what my portfolio looks like. If not, just go ahead and check out all of the videos on this channel. I mostly make all the videos showing my portfolio. So this is something that I wanted to share so that you people see that it's not always about this is my strategy, this is exactly what I do. But there have been certain phases in my journey where I've done swing trading, where I've done anything except day trading, where I've looked at individual companies as well. So those are all parts of the journey, because you experiment, you learn, and then you change. Now, if you look at the profit and loss, it's around 51%, right? But my overall portfolio gain is probably around in the 30s, right? So 30 something percent. So isn't this strategy better, right? Shouldn't I be just cloning people like big investors and then thinking about it and then just repeating that over time to time? For me, the answer is no. And the reason is because I really don't want to chase those extra returns and lose sleep at night. For me, it's more about I want to track the index and then I just want to forget about it and think about growing my own business. Because I myself remember I'd spent weeks buying Micron Technologies, thinking about Micron Technologies, researching about Micron Technologies, and then adding the units over time. And this was back then. So, this is my message to you. You know, it's interesting to see all of these different methodologies. It's interesting to learn about cloning. It's interesting to learn about what big banks in India will do, let's say, in the next few years. But sticking to your fundamental strategy, which works best for you, is going to be the best thing that you can hold on to the long run. And any strategy that you can stick to in the long run is the one that's going to get you the most